it wants to, and it gets so heightened that sometimes you can't control it. Sometimes you do need to go to a doctor so they can give you something to calm you down. Like I said, I'm not big on medicine, so I had to learn, especially being a person that is by myself a lot of times, or at the time I was working when I first started having panic attacks, I would get them in the car while I'm driving, like out of nowhere, and hyperventilating. And it got to the point where it was so bad that I was like, you have to control this. You have to
Yeah.
learn what this is, what is going on, and get a hold of it. It took a lot of praying. I still pray to this day. You know, who can, I don't even see how people can function or go
Girl,
on in life without praying.
I can't either.
But I pray all the time. That's one of the things that help with my anxiety. Breathing exercises, because it's literally what an anxiety attack is that your your fight or flight system is in overdrive and is stuck there, and
Yes.
it doesn't come down no matter if there's no scenario to be in that flight or fight mode. And you just kind of got to tell your brain everything is okay. And I'm learning more and more about it every day. If you're a person who's a very strong person, which I am, and you suppress a lot of things, or you handle a lot of things, or you just kind of got a leader mentality for whatever reason. In my case, I have a business, I have a number of things that I do, and I'm in a leadership position most of the time. So I have a lot on my plate. So when you're
Right.
a person like that, you always have to keep it together. And unfortunately, a person like, myself or yourself or any other person who's similar, they don't have moments where they can just, cry or
Right.
give up, or whatever the case may be. So you're always suppressing things, and with that suppression, I think that's one of the factors that cause a person to have anxiety. Because if you don't have healthy outlets, if you don't talk about your feelings, if you don't cry and let your feelings out, it has to come out somewhere, and it's going to come out somewhere at the wrong time,
Yes.
where your brain is like, okay, we're reacting to 3 years of what you suppressed, and it's coming out today right now. You
Yes.
can't control it. So
Yes. It's so true.
yeah.
You know, a lot of times, when we have anxiety attacks and have that thought process, it's really like an inner thought that we usually have, and we like
Mhm.
bury it so much deep within us, we never come back to it when we need to
Mhm.
release it. So sometimes that
Mhm.
causes like a huge anxiety attack, to a point you'll find yourself just going crazy, because literally deep back in that mind, you really thinking about something and it's bothering you, and for you to even
Mhm.
transition into something and not even expecting you to have MS, you got so many body changes that you're dealing with
Yeah.
every single day. I watched a friend of mine, she was diagnosed with MS, and then next thing you know, probably a year later, she's in a walker, you know?
Mm.
And I knew from you making those shoes, that's why I was asking you those questions. I knew it was a reason behind it,
Yes.
but you,
Yes. People,
yes, but you
they
gotta
understand.
understand. But you gotta
Yes.
let people understand, though. Like it
Yeah.
may it may feel like you don't want to expose it, maybe because you're not ready or anything. But it's
Hmm.
you. It's who you are. It's your testimony. People need to
Right.
know exactly why you started. It helps you. It helps your brand. It's therapeutic for you and everything. That's a lot of things that you can do to actually just enhance yourself, to make you feel better. A lot of times we don't try to focus on things that makes us feel better. We always want to focus on things to just like, okay, this is my brand. This is what I want to do. I want to promote this only. That's it. That's all. But you got to give
Yeah.
them, you got to give them who you are, Jay.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to,
That
because
is so true.
you never know, because usually like some women with MS, some of them can't really walk anymore.
Hmm.
So with you
Yeah.
having your shoes and you making an awareness, you could reach lives of women or even men or whoever that has MS, and they will order your shoes just to help them throughout the day. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you got to
Yeah. That's so
understand,
true.
you got to understand your purpose, because God gave you this gift for a reason. So
Mm.
you better utilize it. I'm over here preaching to
I
you. I'm supposed to
am.
be
I
interviewing you.
am. No, I mean, hey, it is what it is, and I definitely
Yes.
appreciate it because we do, I do need to hear that because you're so right with everything that you're saying. Because I oftentimes do when I talk to people, I don't talk about all the stuff that I'm going through or have been through concerning my health that has, that's happening in the background, and it's such a huge part of my life, and for it to not be
Yes.
talked about, you're absolutely right. And sometimes I do feel like, well, I don't want to talk about that because I don't want to look vulnerable, or I don't want to talk about that because I don't want to look, weak, or I don't want to talk about that because I don't want to cry. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? A lot of times it makes me sad to know that that's what's going on, and I try to be optimistic. And unfortunately, one of the
But it's your
ways that
truth
I,
though. It's your truth.
yeah, that's true.
Even if you cry or you feel sad or you feel vulnerable, it's your truth. Nobody can tell
Right,
it but you. And
right,
that's the greatest gift that we have. If we're speaking
yeah,
our truth, then who else could say it? We already said it. We already
right,
finalized everything by it coming out of our mouths. If people want to switch it
yeah,
up, they can, but it's based upon what you want to do for you, because it's going to make you feel good at the end of the day. And a lot of
yeah,
times we try to focus on things of what people are saying, how they feel, what they think. But if you could save one life a day of someone that has MS, that will
hmm,
like complete you. It'll take little pieces of you of healing and feeling good. Like, wow, I just saved this woman today. She just bought these shoes and I feel good, you know?
yeah. That is so true. That is so true. Well, it's a learning curve, it's practically a new business. We're coming off of the 2 years, so I'm still learning. The brand that you see today didn't start off the way what you guys see today. It didn't start off that way. It's always a constant evolution. So,
Yes.
that's why I love talking to people, meeting new people, because you guys do inspire me to say, you know what, let me incorporate this. And over time, I learned to incorporate it where it makes sense and where it comes across exactly the way that I want it to. So
Yes.
that's definitely something I've been working on. I do mention it here and there, but this is the first time that I've talked about it, even in this deafness, because it's like no one brings it up, and I don't want to bring it up because I'm like, let's not talk about that because I already don't want to deal with it. But you're so right. You do. It is a part of healing. It is a part of dealing with anxiety, because when you talk about stuff and you start reaching out to people and realizing, hey, I'm not the only person going through this, it kind of makes you want to, be stronger and deal with it and kind of overcome all the obstacles you're going through, because you realize there's people that's being inspired by me. You know what I
Yes.
mean? That's so true, because I do get emails and I do get letters of people that say, hey, I visited your website and I seen that you mentioned that you had MS. I didn't know that. What's going on? How long have you had it? Or they'll
See?
say, my son has it, or my daughter, or my mom. What do you do for this? And we end up conversing about it, talking about different remedies to deal with just different things. The person that I talk to the most about it is my mom. She has multiple sclerosis as
Oh,
well,
okay.
and she's had it for years. And usually, she's the only person that I open up to about it, because she knows exactly what, I don't even have to say. I could just say, you know what, today I could not get out the bed. I just was so tired and I didn't even do anything. And she'll say, me too, you know what I mean? Because
That's
being
good.
fatigued is something that you deal with it. Whereas opposed, you can mention that to another person and they'll be like, you lazy, or just get up. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
they won't have that empathy. So that's another reason why I kind of don't talk about it, because I feel like people wouldn't relate to it unless they were going through it. Because I think when you're dealing with an illness that people can't physically see, it's hard for them to have empathy because they don't see what you're going through. Only I can feel what I'm feeling in my body. Only I can see what my eye is looking at things like. Only I feel those